Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by Dave Koken and Ralph Michaels from WagerTalk.com. We're talking Sunday night football here as the Pittsburgh Steelers visit the Buffalo Bills. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers catching 2.5. The one-loss Pittsburgh Steelers here, 46.5 being the total, Dave. Sunday night football, going to be a lot of tickets written here. Where would you lead the watchers to bet this game?
Well, I think the value is fairly clear in this game. Doesn't it mean it's going to win? But you've all of a sudden got Pittsburgh coming off a loss to Washington, no longer unbeaten, facing a Buffalo team that was absolutely terrific against the San Francisco 49ers. And all of a sudden, the Bills are now a favorite in this game. I think there are times when you can make an excuse for a team's performance. And I think Pittsburgh really had an excuse in this game against Washington. They were coming off a big game that had been postponed several times because of the COVID issues. So they're on short rest. It was off a very important win for them. I think they were just flat as can be and kind of went to sleep after getting a big early lead and got stung in the second half. I don't read much into it. I think Pittsburgh just played a bad half of football. All of a sudden, the Bills are now, it's like, watch out for the Bills. Well, yeah, I mean, to some extent, I agree with that. They are a team that, when they've got it all going, they're very good. But the Bills have been a little bit inconsistent this year. They've had trouble putting together really outstanding back-to-back performances. They're coming off a game where Allen could not have been better. They were absolutely spectacular against the 49ers. But that's a very beat-up 49ers team that's already clinched the under on their season win total, thanks to all the injuries they've had. I think the value here is with Pittsburgh. You've still got a team that's only got one loss, suddenly getting points on the road from the Bills. I think it's a good football game. I'm not going to be surprised if Buffalo wins it. But if you're looking from a power rating standpoint, Pittsburgh plus the points is the way to play.
All right, value there from Dave Koken. You're right, Dave. Allen was dropping dimes, nationally televised game. Actually, both of these two teams, Ralph, just had a lot of eyeballs on them. And now we're seeing a flip favorite here, like Dave said, with Buffalo at home, minus 2.5 point favorite. What are you thinking here with the Steelers and Bills?
Well, I look at the Steelers, and I agree. I think there's value with Pittsburgh with this number. But my concern is you look at their last 7 games, they've only rushed for over 100 yards in one game. And that was the road game at Jacksonville. And that was only 6 yards over 100. And they only averaged 3.9 yards per carry. Being a one-dimensional offense concerns me. I'm actually looking for a lower scoring game. We know Pittsburgh's going to be conservative. We know when Tomlin gets on the road, he's conservative. And I have a stat to back that up. When the Steelers are on the road playing a team that averages over 35 pass attempts per game, Buffalo clearly in that range, they are now 1-21 over-under. So they've had 1 over and 21 unders. And the only over in that group, guys, was that game at Dallas where they had to score 15 points in the fourth quarter to even win that game. And that only went over by a point. So, it's a system that I've used that I like. Tomlin on the road doesn't care about pretty. Tomlin on the road, when he has the lead, he does get conservative. He does check down. He does start running the ball, even though they don't gain a lot of yards. Buffalo did have a couple good rush games back to back. Buffalo's defense, hasn't played well lately. You look at what they've given up against Seattle, against Arizona, against the Chargers. Those 3 games weren't great. But again, in this matchup, in this primetime setting, with this playoff type feel, I am going with a definite lean, and it might even make my card going under the total.
Like in the under, a couple of things in as far as the Steelers are concerned. I think it's, look, I'm sure they'd like to be the number 1 seed overall in the AFC, but I don't think that's of paramount importance. I would not be shocked. I think you can see the Steelers make a big effort the next couple of weeks, and if they can get to 13-1. I wouldn't be shocked if you see Big Ben rested in at least one of the last 2 games. He looks like he's really beat up at this point. He's been around for a long time. He's not physically the same as he was. The Steelers, I think you see a big effort the next couple of weeks. I would not be surprised if you see the Steelers start to rest some guys in the last 2 weeks of the season to be ready for the playoffs. If they cost them the number 1 seed, so be it.
That's interesting, Dave. The final game of the year, they're at the Cleveland Browns. So I think the Browns now had been hosted. The Browns at 9-3 are in the playoffs. But it would be more interesting if the Browns were fighting for a playoff battle and if the Steelers beat them, they'd be knocking them out. But since Cleveland looks like they're going to be in the playoff hunt, I agree with you more that the Steelers say, what the hell, they're going to be in there. We'll worry about it later if we get there. A lot of times, health is more important than that bye week when you give that all-out effort in game number 16 or week number 17.
Great points, guys. Enjoy Sunday Night Football. For Ralph Michaels, Dave Koken, I am Drew Martin. Also, a reminder, you see it there on the scroll at the bottom. Coupon code DAILY50 takes 50% off any daily package. Good at both websites, both Sports Memo and WagerTalk.com.